Welcome, my wonderful friend. It is a privilege and honor to have you listen to this wonderful and life transforming series. I am going to share with you what I title 7 moments that reveals people's true character. 7 moments that reveals people's true character. At the end of this session, you will learn the moment in life that shows who people really are, and it will also give you a light into people's true color, not just people as the case may be all the time. It will also give you a light into who you really are in certain circumstances. And I want to say that this is not to judge anyone. It is not a tool for you to judge anyone. It is not a tool for you to attack or condemn anyone, but it is a mirror for you to look at people's life in the right perspective, and also be able to look into your life and say, this is who I am truly, and have opportunity to walk and make improvement where it is necessary. Before I start, I'm going to read a passage of scriptures in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 10, and it says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Now, it's not trying to say whether there will be adversity or not. It is a certainty that there will be adversity. But the deciding factor is what will be the measure of your strength when this adversity occurs. Now, adversity does not create character, it reveals it. So the situations I'm going to mention did not create those characters. It's just going to reveal those characters in the life of people, or also in your life. So what you are going to listen to now is just a mirror for you to build your life, improve your life as a father, a mother, a friend, whether you are in relationship with people or whether you are a parent. Whoever you are, these circumstances or situations reveals people's true character so that you can relate with them properly, and also through a light on your character so that you can know where to make an improvement. Okay, let's go. Now, for introduction, I want you to understand that people are like onions. If you want to cook, there is a way you peel onions, and onions is in layers. So life, scenarios, events, circumstances are those moments that peels the covering in our attitude that reveals the real person that we are per time. So what are the scenarios or what are the moments that reveals people's true character? Number one, it is moment of conflict. When people have misunderstanding with other people, when people have argument with other people. And let me bring to your notice that not having misunderstanding with other people does not mean the relationship is successful, or does not mean it is smooth. Conflict is inevitable because you might have conflict of values, conflict of interest. There might be conflict of opinions. So conflict is not unhealthy if it is handled properly. In fact, it is supposed to bring out the best in people. But how people handle moment of conflict speaks a lot about their character. It reveals who they are. Some people, when they have conflict with other people, they act maturely. They listen to other people's perspective. They listen to other people's opinion, and other people's have their own way of expressing themselves. So they listen to them, they want to hear what they have to say. Some other people are very defensive. Some other people, when they have conflict, they get into a very angry mood. They don't just like people arguing with them. They don't just like people opposing their thoughts, opposing their opinions. They want to have the final say. In fact, if their say is not the final, then they are not in. They will attack you. Some people don't also like to hear when people say things to them in moments of conflict. I remember a scenario where when a young lady went to visit her in-laws, and there was a little misunderstanding, an altercation between her and her sister-in-law, and the sister-in-law said some things to her which were not so palatable. So she responded, and the way she responded was in fact was very shocking to the sister-in-law, and she abused them, she washed them. In fact, anybody that was around was washed. The words that were coming out of her mouth were thick, they were punchy, they were piercing. So the sister-in-law were just shocked. This little thing. So that scenario brought out. It is not that scenario that created who the lady manifested. No, it just brought out who she is. I'm not judging her. It just revealed her true character. I also remember a story of a man that drove a car into a fuel station to buy a fuel, and in Nigeria there is this motorcyclist that sometimes can act very impatiently. So the motorcyclist just turned his motorcyclist and he went ahead of the man, and his leg just scratched a part of the car, and the man came down from the car. In this car was the man's fiancée and the man's mother. So he came down from the car and took cane. Cane, in Nigeria they call it koboko, this one that has many mouths. And the beating he gave to the motorcyclist, everybody begged. The fuel attendant, other passengers came out of the other car. He didn't listen. He beat a hell out of this motorcyclist. Now it was the mother that came down. I don't know what the mother said to him, and he calmed down. Everything the fiancé said did not work. You see, moment of conflict shows who people really are. My question is, how do you react when there is conflict? Because true colors comes out in challenging moments, like moments of conflict. The second moment that reveals people's true character is the moment of failure. Sometimes in life people fail. Sometimes in life they win. There is no law that says you must win all the time. In fact, some people look at the moment of failure as the moment they learn the best lessons of their lives. But some people don't handle failure the way some other people do handle failure. To some people, when there is anything called failure, they are depressed. The business does not turn out. They are depressed. They didn't get what they want. They complain left and right. You know everything about them. It is continuous complaint. It is showing all over them. They find it very difficult to recover. You see it written all over their faces, written all over their social media handles. It's written all everything. It is shown everywhere. You can, in fact, if you get in contact with them at that point, it just seems as if you are the source of their problem. You greet them, hi, hello, good morning, good morning. They will just be giving you monosyllabic and very acidic answers. Good morning, good morning. How are you? I beg. So did you sleep well? How will I sleep well? What kind of question is that? Why are you asking me that kind of question? Have you eaten? Is it your problem? Acidic, toxic, reactive. Some people cannot stand failure. That is what reveals the aspect of their life that you need to be aware of. Because if you don't know how people handle things, when it gets to that moment in their life, you may not be able to help them. You may not be able to encourage them. How do they handle failure? He speaks so much about also who they truly are. Some people will see failure and say, oh, well, it's just a learning curve. They have moved on. They don't dwell. They don't even spend a second. They have thought of the next thing is that one not working? But they have gone. This is one of the moments that reveals people's true character. I remember a story of two people that lost a job in a company. The other one went depressed. In fact, mental health assistance was needed immediately. But the other one, who was also a staff in the same place, did not take it that hard. He started looking for another job. He started applying and also started getting into interview. Two people, the same scenario, but they reacted in different ways. Now, the third way that people respond, or you can see people's real attitude, is when they face temptation. When there are challenging moments. Some people in the face of temptation, when they think they will not get caught and they are tempted, what will they do? Some people cheat. Some people steal. Some people lie. Some people gossip. When people are faced with challenging moments, that is tempting. This is tempting. You understand? They will want to, some people will cut corners. Some people will say to themselves, I cannot do this one. I cannot. Have you remembered the story of Joseph? He would have cleanly, smoothly lie with Potiphar's wife unnoticed. They will just do it sharply and just, just cover it cleanly. But that young man said, how can I do this? How can I do this wickedness? Sin against, he was not even talking about, his conscience was talking about God. So when people are faced with temptation, when they know they may not be caught, it is tempting. It shows who they really are and it shows their true color. The question is this: how do you do? What do you do? How do you react in moments where you are tempted? The next moment that reveals people's true nature and character is the moment of change. Some people cannot stand change. They like the way their life is, even if it is not the best. They just want the thing remain the same way over and over again. Irrespective of the result they are having, they are just okay. Now, people that cannot be flexible, people that are not flexible and adaptable and be reliable, to change, be able to relate with changes, are people that are tend not to be so social. And in most cases, if these kind of people get into some situations, it becomes a very difficult thing. Like, I read a story of a man that likes his food to be cooked. He doesn't like warm food. He wants fresh food. And that has been his pattern. The wife must cook every day. He does not like refrigerated. The cook and store in fridge. Warm food. No, he wants everything fresh. Right from when I got to know about this man, he has been. So I'm asking the question: if it gets to the position where there is no possibility of eating fresh food, what will you do? So if you see someone who resist change, attack change and make sure it doesn't happen, it shows the person's true character and the person's true nature. That is one of the ways that shows people's true character. Now, one of the moments, again, that shows people's true character is when they are faced with other people's success. When they are faced with other people's success, some people cannot stand when another man is succeeding. Some other person is succeeding and it's supposed to be them. Why are they not the one? Why are they not the one getting married? Why is it their friends? Why are they not the one traveling out? Why are they not the one making so much money? They cannot stand other people's success. It is painful. They become jealous. They become restless. They feel like a failure. They feel like a failure. Pay attention to these moments when you share somebody's breakthrough and testimony with someone, maybe what the person has done. What has been that person's first reaction? Either the person will be happy, yay, or the people will like, every time it's people's own. When will my own come? Me, I'm tired about. Some people will just immediately sink into depression or immediately sink into anxiety because another person's success has come. This is a moment you need to pay attention to because it speaks volume. And also, could this be the way you also react when you hear people's success? I remember a story where I work. There is one young man that, I never shared something good and he will like it. It must always be an old story, that something that looks complacent. Even I bought car, people were happy. He never even come and say, okay, yeah, congratulations, you bought a car. For where? He didn't come. But I understood. I knew his person. Now, pay attention to this moment. It speaks volume about who the person is in true character. The next moment in life that reveals people's true character are moments of criticisms. When people are criticized, maybe it is constructive or maybe is destructive. And let me bring this to your notice, that as far as you are in relationship or you are around people, criticism is a normal thing. It is possible that someone will want to say something good to you. Someone will want to correct you, but say it in a bad way or in a way that you don't like. Now, the way people respond or react to criticisms speaks a whole lot about who they are, their maturity, their perceptions, and the way they see things. Some people react defensively. Even what they did was wrong, they would defend themselves. They would defend themselves with the last drop of their blood. They will make sure they don't accept that, or they will make sure they will shut down the other person. They will a lot of people will just, respond in a very, very different way. While the other set of people will take it, okay, fine, they take it as a learning curve. It speaks volume. Now, let me bring to your notice, if you don't pay attention to this particular scenario with the person you want to get married to, it will be very difficult for you to understand that this person does not take correction. It is always very heartbreaking in a counseling session when a woman is pouring out her heart and saying, sir, my husband cannot be corrected. I said, what? If a man or a woman, the other way around, does not stand correction, there is something about his nature that you have to pay attention to. How does he take criticism? Does he take it in a bad light? Does he take it in a good light? Does he or she take it as an opportunity to learn? Is very important. Now, the next moment that reveals people's true character is when they are under pressure. When they are under pressure, it speaks volume. When we are talking about deadlines, when the clock is ticking, ticking, they have a target to meet, they are under pressure. How do they react? Are they jittery? Are they throwing tantrums? Are they lashing out at people? Or are they looking very calm, very cool, very collected? That shows their level of emotional maturity. It speaks volume about who that person really is. So pay attention to when people have deadlines, they are under pressure to meet up something. Now, it's very, very important because it shows who they really are. The last moment I would like to add that shows people's true character is when they are broke. when they are passing through financial issues. Some people cannot stand being broke. Some people cannot stand not having money. You will see it all over their life. Some men will complain. Some men will not even be able to hold up their shoulders or look straight to things. They will complain. I'm not talking about women. Some women have threatened to leave their marriage. Yes, it's a practical scenario. I've had this before. They cannot cope because there is no money. Maybe the husband is broke, or maybe the family is passing through financial challenges. And now let me tell you something, that these things that I'm sharing are real life scenarios. Now, when you cannot have a life, that whether you are broke or whether you have so much money, it doesn't affect the way you live, your happiness, your joy. That means something needs to be done about your character. Because if money determines the way you react, respond, relate with people, it speaks a lot about your sense of value. So pay attention when someone is broke, the way the person acts, the way the person behaves, because some people's life and happiness is tied to the value of the money they have. If you are in relationship with this kind of person, imagine when there is no money. That means your house is on fire, or that means your house is covered with the spirit of depression and unhappiness. If you don't build this into your life, that life can be happy, life can be enjoyed, whether the money is there or not, then even when the money has arrived, you will never have happiness. Now, I say this, it is better for you to think how to make money than for you to think I don't have money or I am broke. Because before God created the world, before the world came into existence, when you were created, money was not created. So it doesn't mean that God created a poor person. In the book of Genesis, I'm going to round up with this. In the book of Genesis, the Bible says God created everything and he saw that everything was good. Money was not mentioned. So if money is the true measure of happiness and success, then that means God was broke because money was not mentioned. But if you look at it, it means that money was not mentioned does not mean that God was broke. Now let me point to you that money, the physical cash, is just a representative of a value. So that cash you are holding, migrates towards value. It is an exchange for value. So if you keep exchanging value, you should be having money. Now, if you don't have enough, that means something is wrong somewhere and you have to get into the root, or maybe diversify your investment or create other means of income. It doesn't mean that you yourself, you are broke, you are poor, and you are lacking. No. This is my submission to the means of making money, that you should have multiple streams of income so that you can have more income coming in, but remove your self-value from the value of money which you have, because you are more than the cash that comes into your hands or what is in your bank account. Now, let me summarize with this. These moments are not tools of judgment. These moments are not tools of attack. These moments are not just conclusive. They are mirrors for you to use and look at people's character and ask yourself, how can this person become better? And also ask yourself, how can I relate to this person in a more successful way? And also turn the mirror to yourself and ask yourself, how can I become better, or how can I become a better version of who I am by putting into practice or transforming this moment so that I can also have a successful relationship with people. Don't forget that these mirrors can actually transform your life. If you check this moment and also work on them, you will have a successful relationship with people and also have a successful marital life. Thank you for listening. I see you next time in the next series.